That's funny. How much does
No, she's already got it.
Chicago. You know what? Kanye's here. He look really good. Can I see? I can't try the glasses. Can I try the glasses on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
You got that drip.
I got. Let's see. Yo, now I can rap. Kanye's in the building. Chi-Town. The glasses made me flow better.
Lord have mercy.
You know better.
Kanye's in the building. So listen, Chicago, tune in right now. He's here live in Chicago. Let me show you Leon and Kyle.
Yeah, we're here too.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
here too.
yeah.
We're here too.
This is the Facebook Live for GCI.
What's up, Facebook Live? We here, yo.
Okay.
All right, back on Kyle.
All right, so I'll put it up so people can see Kanye and the Shy. The interview's about to come back up, so you guys tune in. 2 minutes? All right.
Leon, or Kyle, weather and
I'll try to put it on here.
15
So y'all
seconds,
can
you can
see.
say whatever you want to, but the first 15, we don't do nothing.
Okay, cool.
I just need something where...
Yeah, man.
You have my
We just
makeup bag.
Forgotten City.
Oh, I have under. Just something I could put
We was all out of
under.
LA.
Under. That book bag. Can you give me that book bag under?
I was so mad at Leon, dog.
Kanye, if you know any single guys, I'm single still. So if you know, I know I like your conversation. You know, everybody got jobs, so you know everybody's single. And it's
Keep your friends. They be like, yeah, man, you both man. Yeah, man. It was a save. I still got some of them shows on tape, bro. But everybody doing good. Dion went off. How much time? Shay got his own marketing company. Right down here.
oh, that's the other boss. Yeah, where is Johnny actually?
I haven't looked. Yeah. I knew he'd be in the country.
How much more time?
a minute.
Okay, we're about to come back up.
You can do it from out there. I go to a club.
Yeah, D-rated man.
Allow somebody to sit on the studio session. I want somebody to studio session. I can do that?
Yeah.
You saying yeah?
Yeah, good.
John, we didn't talk too much, but hi, John. Is your wife here?
No, my wife. My wife's in LA.
She's in LA?
Weather's in 50 seconds.
50 seconds.
All right, we live.
Yeah, Bob.
Can we have you go to the left slightly? Say anything for John? You the boss, Leon.
What's up, Styles? Daryl look like he about to sing.
I'm very good at my job. I don't know why you give me a hard time. I don't know why you guys give me a hard time.
Breathing at all.
Hey, coming up, weather, Kyle.
Pardon me, man.
Yep, coming up right here in 5 seconds.
All right, Chicago, let's check in with the Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing Weather Center. Hey, take a look outside today. We're looking at a high of 74 degrees. A little bit of rain left out there right now. Cloudy pretty much all afternoon. We're looking at 69 degrees as we speak. And this weather report is brought to you by Chicagoland, JiffyLube.com. Jiffy Lube offers speed and convenience for high-quality oil change, headlight replacement, or manufacturer recommended service. Stop by Jiffy Lube. Leave worry behind. No appointment necessary. Visit Chicagoland, JiffyLube.com.
All right, right here, right back in the interview.
Yeah, boss.
It's the WGCI morning show with Leon Rogers, Kendra G, and Cal. This is the New York show or an Atlanta show. This is Chicago show. Now let's go.
This is the Chicago show, man. Leon Rogers, Kendra G, myself, Kyle, in the studio. If you're late, you got to understand, man, Kanye West is back in the city, and he's sitting right here with us at WGCI. This
Late registration.
Yeah, did that. So look, we've been.
I was thinking just my mood, like when we was talking about the Drake thing. It hits me in a really sensitive place because you like hang around people and they come to your house and be around your family and this and that, and then they get mad about a beat and then send you purple demon emojis. And it's like what I was saying earlier. It's like I don't play like that. I don't play in that place. I don't understand that. When I'm saying I'm not a gangster like that. What I'm saying is, it's like, look, it ain't no beef. Like, ain't nobody got no beef. Ain't nobody going to jail.
For anybody that just tuned in, you're saying
Yeah.
that this is what happened between you and Drake.
Yeah, so ain't nobody going to jail. So it's like it's no in between, and I'm not calling nobody to do nothing and all that stuff, because then I gotta owe that person for the rest of that, and I got all these people on my payroll and da 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 and all that stuff, and I don't do that. I make beats, and I'm here for a reason. Also, it's just like, the universe is on my side. It's like I got a purpose. If something was meant to happen to me, it would have happened in a car accident. Something was meant to happen to me, it would have happened after, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that we all got love for Drake. We understand that he got upset about it. I feel that it was insensitive for him to in any way stress me out anyway after TMZ while I'm in Wyoming, healing, pulling all the pieces together, working on my music. And, we'll reconcile that one day because we got work to do. And these voices is just too powerful.
So did you,
Yeah.
with Pusha T, did you admonish Pusha T for his stance that he took?
What does admonish mean?
I mean, well, check him or say, since you say you don't play like that, like Pusha T was playing like that.
I'm not checking it. That man mentioned something with Pusha. I can't tell that man not to.
Okay.
Do what he gonna do.
Can you
know what
clear
I'm saying? He his own man. You know what I'm saying?
Just don't bring you into it.
Just don't bring me into it, because that's not what I do. I ain't got no time for this. I'm dealing with, we dealing with a lot.
Right.
Dealing with some, rap.
Kind-
You know what I mean? Like.
Can you clear up this one thing though? Because I guess some people, the perception is where did Pusha T get the information for the diss song,
Man,
this song
like,
to Drake?
Don't even pull me.
I'm not
into-
pulling you. That's why I'm asking
No, I'm not
you.
saying. I'm saying
Right.
to people.
Right.
Don't pull me into that type of conversation. That's what y'all don't even understand. It's like.
So you didn't give Pusha T the information?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But don't pull me into this conversation. Like, I'm Ye. I got major things to do other than be telling him some information about Drake. You know
feel
what I
like
mean?
that's gossipy.
Yeah. I don't sit around and do that. Like, I honestly don't care that much, in all honesty, bro.
Right.
Like, it's fine, but I just enjoy music, you know what I'm saying? And enjoy being with my family. I enjoy making music. My head's not even in that place. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? Yeah.
Now you have been very vocal about a lot of things, and
Yes.
we do appreciate you being here today. But we do want to ask you the things that people are
Go ahead,
concerned
just
about.
say the pleasantries. Let's get to it.
No question. Let's get to it, because a lot of us as black people were very upset with the MAGA hat and the stance that you took on Donald Trump. And we mentioned it off air earlier. You went on Jimmy Fallon and had a conversation. And
Hold on.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Did I say it wrong?
Well,
I'm
wait
sorry,
a
Jimmy
second.
Kimmel.
So what? Just don't confuse me with the questions. Do you want to just talk about the MAGA hat and the stance?
Here's what. Well, first I want to say.
Don't give me no compound thing. Make it simple for me, please.
Okay, here's the question. How can you feel like you could support Donald Trump when he stands for so many things that are against black people in our struggle?
We all know the fact that black people used to be Republican, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, liberals, right, left, red, blue, it's like a gang. It's like Bloods and Crips. You can see, he said Bloods and Crips. He been into L.A. too long, you know.
Well, you should say Jesus in the mode.
I got love for everybody. Hat was a statement of bravery and to not be in control and programmed, that as a people we have to have a monolithic thought, because if we have a monolithic thought, we are easily controlled and could also possibly be easily eliminated. We have to think and voice our separate opinions, because if we want to talk about the TMZ statement, they cut our tongues. Now today, we can say all we want about social media, dissing somebody, did Ye give Pusha this information, this, but I know black people that voted for Trump that was scared to say that they did out loud. That's some 1984 thought control, mind control, programming shit. So honestly, and because my voice is so strong, I never even told people my opinion or my stance to after he won. I didn't want to influence it, but I have the right as an American to have my own opinion.
You do have that right.
Yeah.
I feel like
real quick, do you think wearing the hat, because your wife did a wonderful thing and she got Alice Johnson out of jail with meeting Donald Trump, do you think the hat and you wearing the hat assisted in that whole situation happening?
Yes. And what I want to say is, in my opinion, politicians are politicians. It's not one that's particularly better than the other. And I understand as black people, since we want to speak in the separation, because we're actually one race. The human race is actually one race. Race is a man-made construct that was invented a couple hundred years ago. I'm sure GLC can give me the exact history on that. I'm
But
sure
you're
inaccurate about the history of it. But we actually are one race as human beings. But if we want to do the division of our culture and our color of being black, I understand, that we had 8 years where we loved the idea of a black president, and now it seems like we took a step backwards to where we only saw, white presidents our entire life. And it's like we would rather have a female president than to see another white man be president again. And I understand and I feel that, but I just don't agree with it.
I think some people have the problem that they feel like your stance and your support of this particular person almost erases some of the pro-black struggle things that we've associated with you through your music in the past. Like I mentioned earlier when you were talking about the lyric where you said your grandfather took your mother to the sit-ins and that's in your blood, and that was representing the struggle. So I think a lot of people feel like if you represent the struggle, how could you possibly represent this man? Let's take away the politics and the red and the blue, but this particular man.
Like, let's act like America. Let's act like America is our girlfriend for a second. Trump being in office is like if you broke up with your girlfriend and she fell out with her girlfriend and you get on the phone with her and she lets you know everything that your girlfriend been doing the whole time. Lets you see this. Like you say, the detention center. That's something that was happening through a lot of different presidential eras. But now we're seeing it. Mm-hmm. And I'm a very transparent person. I like transparency. I like exposure. I want to be exposed to the information so I can make my decision. And I knew that this rogue personality was going to allow me to see and understand and allow my brothers to understand what we were dealing with. All the marches, people fighting, people standing up, people having a conversation about politics, our well-being. I knew that this was going to happen if he got into office. It's like whether you like it or not, it could be a traumatic experience, it could be whatever it is, but sometimes you want to say that's the whole funny thing is we talk about get out, woke, or that flash of light or something.
Right.
That's a flash of light to us as an entire community to see things that we wasn't seeing when Obama was in office.
But
it's
they
like
were still happening.
That was still happening. It's like we as a collective wasn't woke.
Right. That's fair enough.
Now everybody is woke.
Okay, so I want to go back to your statement where you said we're all one race, the human race.
Yeah.
And I agree with that to an extent, but then why are some portions of the human race not treated like other portions of the human
Traditionally,
race?
the darker color of any culture has been, treated in a lower way, a lower class. Now, this could go, what you should do is have a follow-up with GLC tomorrow so he can give you the history and break down. Because I don't get my information from books. I get my information from the spirit. I feel it. I go with my gut. I sit on, the telethon. I say, George Bush don't care, but I sit at that award show and say, oh, this is some bullshit, I'm got to go up in there. I sit against all odds and say, I'm gonna put this hat on and let's see what happened now. You know, the thing is, in high school, people was always trying to tell me what I could do, what I couldn't do. Can't wear the tight pants. Don't dress like the Gap. Wear these cross colors. Don't come to this, be in this gang. Don't be in this gang. Like, everyone always my whole life been trying to tell me what to do. And I think by putting out new thoughts, and I'm not a historian, so I'm very loose with it. Say, like, there's a lot of philosophers and innovators that, there's some people that got on a boat and found America, and there's some people that died, broke and lonely, and was still proven right after they passed away. So, I got a pretty good track record of being right about stuff. So let's see, because now we got a direct line. That's one of the things. I got a direct line to Adidas. I got a direct line to the president. And let's see what happens with it and how I apply that to the city, because I'm going to apply it.
Right. Okay. Let me say, we have to respect your decision, and you did explain why you support this man. The
thing is, I support everyone. Okay. That's the thing. I am in support. I support Bernie Sanders. I love Bernie Sanders. Right. I support Hillary. Okay. I love it. I support Obama. I cried when he won and at the inauguration. My mom was passed. I said, Mama, we did it. I like all these things that happen. It's like, and you take the people, black vocal Trump supporters. Two of the most black vocal Trump supporters are Mayweather and Kanye West. And I think we got a lot of things in common. We're self-made. And we don't move, act, and think like African Americans. We move, act, and think like Africans in America. Because this is not programmed to be our country, but we can make it ours. Like Farrakhan said, it's to be bought. I just bought 300 acres for only $7 million. 300 acres. I'm finding another 1,000 acres right now to build our first school on our campus. I am buying America and making it mine, the land of the free.
Everybody's not in a position to make those purchases, though.
Yeah, we know that everyone is not in a position, but if I said a joke or gave you some information about Drake, we'd all be laughing about it and think that's cold. But if I say something to you about this is what I'm doing, and you can see, since people like to see people that are particularly of the same culture, because they act like we can't be inspired by nobody that's not our culture. Now, I love Michael Jordan, but I'm more inspired by Steve Jobs. I connect more with Steve Jobs than I connect to Michael Jordan. You know how they do this like marketing? You ever watch a basketball game and it just be like a marketing? You're like, man, that's really aimed towards, it's like patronizing us. Yeah, hip-hop marketing. Yeah. It's almost patronizing us.
I agree with that.
They think, but it'd be a white company. And then they hire people to speak directly to, like, oh, we need this voice to sell this product of this old blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It's like, unprogrammed people.
Kanye, we're going to move on, but I do want to ask this direct, simple question, because it was a question that Jimmy Kimmel asked on the show, and I saw you say on Twitter you weren't given the amount of time to properly answer it. And he used, a famous quote that you said, that George Bush doesn't care about black people. Mm-hmm. Do you feel as though Donald Trump cares about all people, black people included?
I feel that he cares about the way black people feel about him. And he would like for black people to like him like they did when he was cool and the rap songs and all this and stuff. And he will do the things that are necessary to make that happen, because he's got an ego like all the rest of us, and he doesn't. He wants to be the greatest president, and he knows that he can't be the greatest president without the acceptance of the black community. So it's something that he's gonna work towards, but we're gonna have to speak to him.
Yeah, because he's not doing a good job.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Well, let me go with you the next time you go to the White House.
He's not doing a good job.
I need to go with you to the White House, and I got a couple things I got to say.
Exactly, but at least now you can go.
Okay. Kanye West, everybody.
I want to ruin your relationship with the president.
When we come back, I want to ask you about. I'm back to the sneakers. I'm a sneakers head. Love the shoes and everything you're doing with them. I want to ask you a very important question. I feel a lot of the shorties want to know the answer to.
But look at this. I'm so cold. I'm cold. I know that's y'all think. I'm like, man, this man is cold.
Kanye West,
Kanye's in the building.
What is so Chicago?
Yes.
Don't move. We'll be right back.
Hilarious.
We got an answer. We got the answer in Chicago.
Yes, sir.
Are y'all marking time?
Look, I've always said this, because I used to catch so much shit defending. I was like, look, I know my man. Like, I think what it is back in the day, you get frustrated with people not understanding where you're coming from, and so sometimes you get hype and you turn up, and it's like, I was like, dude is a lightweight motherfucking genius, but it's just when he started yelling, y'all shut off. Like with anybody. When somebody yell at you, you like, all right, fuck what you talking about. I really don't care because you yelling at me. So like the house sway, all the memes and shit, I'm like, I think that man just frustrated because y'all not really getting what he trying to say.
It was fire too. Also, you know what? I think we should talk about how long did you take me to answer the question? Goddamn, it's like a test. Why I gotta answer a question so fast? That's the thing with Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
Certain questions, and I want to say that
Right.
online and
When we
stuff.
come back,
like, yo,
Well, I believe that's in life. Before you speak, you should really take the time to think
Can
about
I just
what you're gonna say.
can I say this? And I obviously I respect the position that you are in, and you made it eloquent when you said this is a human race. Because like I told you my first experience with you, and you told me like you didn't even drop your first album yet. You're like, I'm gonna be all this, and watching you, I've been so inspired. I literally cried because I come from a black woman's point of view. That's the race I care about. I think from black people, I feel like we're not treated fairly, and I feel like there's very few black people in position of power that when they speak, the whole world listens. You have that power. Oprah has that power. LeBron James had that power. Very few of you. So for me, and it's my own personal want, I always want you to speak for the benefit of black people. You know?
I understand. I'm speaking for the benefit of all people.
And I get that. I get that. I have to respect that. But that's just where my emotional connection comes from. Because I want you. I just want you to speak. I want you to
just be honest. I feel like white people got a head start. And they always have a head start.
Well, no, not even just that. We're just treated differently in this country.
Like they got a head start.
But it's a lot of poor white people too. It's a lot.
That's true.
That's
That's
the
true.
reason why Trump is in office.
That's true.
But I kind of feel like even the poor white people still get treated better than a middle class black person. You know what I'm saying? Like that poor white trash could get stopped, and I get stopped, and it's, you know what I'm saying? I go through Homewood, and hey, you've been doing this shit for a long time, bro.
Right.
Long time.
So give me what we're doing.
Used to rock my little cousin, Marcus Marcus, single.
And then we're gonna record the rest.
That's how I first met you. He was doing some beats around.
Oh yeah, where is Marcus?
Marcus got married, man. He teaches. He just did something with Fifth Element.
Okay, we're gonna record.
On the Negro League soundtrack. He's still rapping, but he calmed down a lot. Because he was a little hot here back in the day.
Did y'all mark?
Marking
times.
I would like to talk about mental health a bit.
I want you to talk about that because you went past, you said it in the TMZ beginning. But I think what Johnny is saying, that's obviously I know each other. We're gonna come back up, but then we're gonna do the rest. We're gonna record it and play the rest of it. Yeah, and then the rest we're gonna just be able to record.
The rest of the conversation for aliens.
When y'all airing that?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
2 parts.
But we'll tomorrow.
All the shit he should have said yesterday.
But I will say this: we do humbly appreciate you coming because we do know the essence that you bring. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You know,
you.
just having a calm perspective for you to just think. It's like you don't have to like that. It's just I show up in a polo with everybody wearing cross colors, or a backpack, or like some skinny jeans or some Jordans, and it just makes people think a little bit. Like, that might not be what everybody's doing, but and it may or may not influence people in the future, you know. But it's a different thought.
Right.
Like slavery is a choice. Like that's just a That's just a dope. That's just a dope ass thought. The fact that they could like rip.
Yeah, having it here didn't
That
make
just
sense.
thought, it let us know how much for the future that we still thinking about that so
because it's so
much.
impactful though. That's not you can't. That's not fair. Like, well, let's say that's
What's not fair about saying that we all think about
I mean, all right. So
No, you don't.
has it been
I
done
think
to
the
us?
reason why we still think about it because we
I'm
just
saying the
direct
effects of it.
effects.
Well, we're still in it, so now we
Correct. Right. Well, see, here's the thing about it, though, right?
Shift the
Some
paradigm.
some people have moved out of that mindset. Haven't had certain educations, haven't been exposed to certain things.
Exposure.
And haven't had exposure, right? And they're still dealing with that. So it's still a real thing in America for all of
So
those people.
what's cool is for y'all to be able to see the unadulterated thoughts and feelings of someone who has been exposed.
Right.
Right.
And someone who has been exposed, I want to like, they definitely got to get some
Yeah,
exposure.
we got-
gotta do
yeah.
the air.
Yeah, we gonna
How-
Y'all know
how
we-
much
yeah.
I
we
say that
got?
all the time. like when
Everything
I hear,
is
when I hear cats be telling shorties that's on the block doing nothing, and I say, well, why don't
We're
y'all
talking
sign
after
for the
before the
Air Force
song,
or
right?
something, get an education or
Talking before
whatever,
the
and
song
see the
comes on?
world. And he be, man, don't do that shit, you gonna report. I said, man, I saw
Yeah,
more
wait, 5
countries
more
before 26 than some of y'all gonna see
You
y'all
want to
whole
take the
life. So I
music
got to
and
see
run
how other cultures live and how beautiful, like, if I get me some money, I'm moving the road to Spain. Flat out, taking my
we can't
family
talk
there
before the
because the
song?
shit is amazing.
before
It's
the
just
song,
beautiful.
please,
Like
because that makes-
the scenery, the olive fields in the back, like all that shit. I was just amazed by. But I'm 23. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing shit past goddamn 64th and Loomis.
Yeah.
So
904
it's like,
weather.
when shorties don't get to see nothing, you know, the little guys on 111 scared to go past 115 because they're at war with every other block. They don't know downtown is amazing.
Stand by for me. Weather comes.
All right, Chicago, let's check in with the Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing Weather Center. Here's how we're looking outside today. High 74 degrees, but the big story, of course, is the rain and the clouds. As we get into the afternoon, some of the rain will dissipate, but the clouds will be there pretty much all day long. We're sitting at 69 degrees right now as we speak, 74 degrees for the high, and this weather report is brought to you by Chicagoland, JiffyLube.com. Jiffy Lube offers speed and convenience for high-quality oil change, tire rotation, or manufacturer recommended service. Stop by Jiffy Lube. Leave worry behind. No appointment necessary. Visit Chicagoland, JiffyLube.com. We're going to play this song first and then come back with the
Oh, no song, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, no question. We're back at it, man. It's the WGCI Morning Show with Leon Rogers, Kendra G, myself, Kyle. Kanye West is hanging out with us. If you've been missing it, man, you've been missing so much. We're talking so many subjects this morning, and we appreciate your time, brother. We're really getting to it today.
Can I just jump in? He answered the Jimmy Kimmel question, and you
That's
want
right.
to talk about that you sometimes you need time to answer your questions, you said, correct?
Yeah, because when y'all ask me, like, do you think Trump cares about black people? I had to take some time to answer it. A lot of times, famous people get on these on-air situations, and they think it's like they gotta come up and blah blah. I sat with a media trainer. I sat with a media trainer after the slave comment, right? And at the end of the whole thing, I asked her. I said, "Did that comment affect you?" And she said, "No." And then my wife was looking at her like, "What?" And then she's like, "Oh well, you know, it come about." And it's like, "Oh, you just here getting paid to tell me how to talk like everybody else."
Right.
It didn't even affect you, and you down. We need people here that care. You're like, I like to talk to people that's affected by the comment to get all of the perspective. So one of the things, you know, I had a perspective on it because, you know, we talk about people who we lack opportunities and, you know, education and exposure to, and I said, as radical as that felt or sounded at the time, I believe that it's good for everyone to see an unadulterated moment of someone that has had maximum exposure.
We partially had that conversation off air, so let's bring it back a little bit, Chicago. We're talking about Kanye West. You just mentioned the comment that you made on TMZ saying that slavery was a choice, and then
which wasn't the actual comment, but it was taken as that. So it doesn't matter. I said 400 years. It sounds like a choice to me.
Gotcha.
To Kanye West. Not being a historian, like GLC is a historian, he'll break it down for you. I tell you, I got to bring him up, and he'll break down all this. To me, when I hear about anything of an entire group of powerful people being captive, held captive for 400 years, it sounds like a choice to the spirit of Kanye West, which I think is aligned with the spirit of Harriet Tubman, which I think, and let me finish, which I think is aligned with the spirit of Nat Turner, which in my non-historical opinion, I feel that these are examples from the past of people who felt similar to that, even if it was worded incorrectly in the white man's tongue. Maybe I could have danced, or maybe I could have spoken Swahili and spoken the actual language, because even the fact that we're having to have this conversation in English is a form of slavery, because it's not even our tongue. It's not even our language, bro. You know, so that feeling, that emotion, that ramped up feeling, that medium connection with spirituality that we got to witness on TV, you know, the fact that I could take that bullet and be like, oh, he's crazy. I'm going to just segue. I'm going to come back to say that. I want to talk about the crazy thing for a second. Tom Cruise could hop out of a plane, onto a motorcycle, drive out of a window, do a flip onto a boat, right? And then go eat a bag